Hey guys, thank y'all for joining. Coming back to the Money Experience. Today we got everyday people. I got a real hot music producer, nice friend I just met not too long ago. Shameless plug, real quick. We sitting in the back of a Rolls Royce Cullinan, just kicking it like two old friends. And with that, introduce yourself. Tell everybody who you are.
What's up, man? My name is Johnny, but I go by J.O. The hitmaker. J.O. got your trap jumping. J.O.'s really just my initials. I just love to produce, man. Make great music and shit. Just like the cool and just have a good time, man. Here with my boy Ron, just chopping it up in the back of the Cullinan, man.
Yeah. So let's talk about, I like to jump right into it.
Okay.
So I know you have some artists and everything like that, right?
Right.
And most people be like, oh, who you work with, who this. I want to know that, but more importantly, I want to know what made you get into the music business.
Man, funny shit. So I always wanted to get into like acting, comedy, stuff like that, and do like comedy skits and stuff like that. Like back in like 2006, 2007, like when YouTube was first getting going, I really wanted to have I wanted to do like comedy skits. Okay. And so me and a couple of my friends were actually going to build this comedy show, like a sketch comedy show. And so the one thing my boy was like, look, man, you got to get a MacBook Pro. And shit, at the time, I didn't have no money for no MacBook Pro.
Right.
Shit was like $2,500. So I went on Craigslist and bought this guy's MacBook. Well, it was like called a Power Book at that time or some shit.
Right.
And for $400. And so I went to go start trying to figure out how to video edit, and my homeboy was like, damn, the person that owned this computer must have been a producer. I'm like, how you know? He got all the programs on. I never got into comedy sketches. I just started learning how to make beats on this damn computer, and damn, like coolest shit ever. Here I am. So that's like, it was like I feel like God destined me to be a producer, but I didn't even know I was going to be a producer. I ended up buying like a MIDI keyboard from Best Buy, hooking it up to there.
Right.
Next thing you know, I started getting like a studio put together, and then now it's like I went to college for this shit.
Okay.
And it ended up becoming like pretty much my career.
Right. So sometimes the we'll have our plans and intentions of what we want to do, but then God will throw that loop on you and change you that. So it's cool. I like that story right there. So you've been in, I heard you, right? I always listen. I'm very attentive. I heard you say that you, the other day, you've been doing it for about 15 years. You said, for the last 15 years, this is how I've been feeding my family.
Yeah.
What's the keys to longevity?
Well, for me, you have to understand the music business, you can get paid so many different ways. Mm-hmm. There's placements, there's working with artists, there's different things. One thing I always know is that whenever you want to do something like this business, you always got to find a way to survive, and then you look for ways to thrive. And so for me, survival was learning how to engineer. And what engineering is basically recording, mixing, and mastering. It's kind of like, a lot of people want to do certain things and want to be a rapper or want to be a producer, but sometimes you can't just eat off of producing, or you can't just eat off rapping. You have to do other things. Like, I know some rappers that are photographers because it put them around the people they need to be around. Maybe photography is not their end goal, but it puts them around the rappers. So, and there's always a need for that. There's always a need for people that want to record. And the thing about recording is it's not necessarily my complete passion to track, which is pretty much tracking is like the grunt work. It's where you bring an artist into the studio and you record their record. And you don't get, what a lot of people don't know is you don't get credited a lot of times for tracking.
Okay.
You don't necessarily, you just pretty much hit the record button. You don't get credited. Usually the person that does the mix, the master, sometimes the tracking engineer will get credited, but 9 times out of 10, it's just, you don't get back end pay. You just get paid upfront for your work. Upfront for your work. But when you're good at it, you can make, and depending on your equipment, you can make upwards from 75 to 125 an hour. If you own all your equipment in your studio and you don't have to pay anybody else anything, it's 100 an hour pretty much in my pocket all the time.
Gotcha.
And that's what helps you survive.
So along with your longevity, like, what's the if I'm an aspiring record producer, right? what is my goal? What should my goal be? Like for you, what's your goal? What's your end goal? Is it to have one hot song and everybody know you for that, or where does Johnny see himself as long term?
I mean, I want to build artists, man. Like my favorite producer is probably like Zaytoven, and like I
Okay.
actually like, the God aligned everything to where like I actually got to meet Zaytoven.
Okay.
Actually ate some Jamaican food with him, ate lunch with Zay, and like shit, like for me it was just like super cool. And he even told me like, which is like confirmation, like don't chase placements. Like a lot of producers want to get in the habit of saying, well, shit, I want to work with Lil Baby, but Lil Baby, somebody built Lil Baby sound, like you know, and not to say that somebody will never get to work with Lil Baby, but the thing is like Lil Baby will want to work with you once you build another artist, and then he's got that sound, and then Lil
Gotcha.
Baby's gonna want to say, well, shit, if I want that sound, I'm gonna have to go to that producer.
Yeah.
Like if you go to Zaytoven, you don't go to Zaytoven and tell Zaytoven what you want. Zaytoven's kind of built a sound, so hopefully you go to Zay and he's gonna give you the sound that he's known for, and you're gonna
Gotcha.
get that sound. And the reason why is because Zaytoven built Gucci,
Got you.
and Gucci made
Got you.
Zaytoven household name. And
Okay.
so if you want that trap sound that's got a church vibe to it, you're gonna go to Zaytoven for your production.
Okay.
So I'm building an artist named Young Zoe, and really, I mean, he's already. I can't say like I'm not going to say like I've made him the artist he is, because he's a phenomenal person. He's a genius. He's a producer himself. But at the same time, me and him have been working behind the scenes on his sound, and I
Okay.
feel like our sound is crazy. I've also got the opportunity to work with a lot of other people, but that's somebody that I could say like, you know, it's going to be hard for other people to work with him. Like once he goes, just like how it's hard to work with Little Baby, because me and him already built this sound.
Right.
Nobody's going to be able to do this sound better than me.
Right.
Because I built that
Right.
sound.
It was your
it's
sound.
like the Little Baby sound really is cook that shit up quick. And so
Okay.
when you go search YouTube for Little Baby type beats, there's other producers like Section 8, Twisted Genius, but that Little Baby sound is cook that shit up quick. Just like
Gotcha.
Da Baby is Jetson. So if you want a Da Baby type beat, 9 times out of 10 you're just emulating, and it's easy to emulate, but it's hard to create.
Gotcha.
And not
Gotcha.
everybody can fit. You can make a Da Baby beat. Jetson can have you can make a hot song, but if the baby don't jump on it, it's not gonna sound good, because it really, that sound is crafted for that artist. So I'm
Okay.
building a sound that's really for Young Zoe,
Right.
and it's just gonna fit him. And so when
Okay.
you hear it, it's like, damn.
So your long term, your end goal is to build artists.
To build artists, yeah.
Got you.
Yeah, once, because I want my sound to be out there.
Okay.
And then once I have that sound, like, I mean, I've gotten the opportunity to work with a lot of these guys, but people got to remember that this is a business, and that business makes business sense. You don't, if something costs, like even if shoes cost $200 and market value is $100, or let's just say the market value on these shoes now is less than what you pay, you can't make money on that.
Right.
You can't make money
Right.
on that. And it's like a lot of times these record labels advance these producers, because they're signed to their label, $5 million. So what makes you think you're a no-name guy that you're going to get the single when now they put on loan $5 million with this guy?
Yep.
He's going to get the single because they got to recoup their money back.
Yeah.
So I don't just go chasing that, because that's business that's already been taking place. I'm going to build my own artists, build our own situation.
Yep.
And, and use the money that I've been making from helping other artists, from the hourly, from this, from that, from all the other income streams, invested in one guy, because I'm going to invest in who I'm
Gotcha.
laboring with. Everybody's like, fuck with me, I'm hot. But it's like, man, we've been building, we've been working, and we bringing our money in together. And it takes money to make this shit.
That's what's up. So I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. We not to take your time up,
No,
but
it's cool, man.
so the other yesterday, not that we name dropping or nothing like that, but Young Blue was in here. So you sat down, you were talking to two members of his team, and his little son, Young Blue's son, was here. And he was talking about how many girlfriends he got, and one of the things that you did is you pulled up the picture of your son, proud dad moment. So what are you going to do, right, based on your life now? What things are you trying to instill in your son for his future?
Man, that's a great question. number one, first and foremost, man, I want my son to know God. You know, not to take everybody to church, but I'm gonna be honest, like without Jesus Christ, like my life would not be my life. Like, you know, my life first and foremost belonged to God. Even though that we're doing trap music and we talking about a lot of things, man, and we doing some things that's unholy or unsavory or whatever.
Right.
You know, man, I can't get away from my roots, man. And God made me, and you know, I want my son to just know that, you know, God loves him and that he's a king and that he can be whatever he wants, man. I know God put gifts in my son, and my son's young, man. I had 3 kids, but like my son's real young, and so right now, you know, I don't see all the talents that God put in him, but eventually, as he grows to be the man that God's called him to be, those talents are going to come out. And whatever that is, man, I'm gonna help him. I'm gonna help my son to where he never has to struggle or never has to wonder or question himself. You know, I'm gonna be that support that my dad never did for me, man.
Hey, that's what's up. You know, sometimes I heard that last little piece you said, do the things that your dad never did for you. It's so many of us, you know, we're in that same situation. And so, like I used to always say, I never wanted to be like my dad. I never wanted to be like my dad, you know, just because of the different things that you know, I seen him do. And, you know, so I always looked at my sons. You know, I looked at all my kids, but it's really important for us to make sure that our sons are impacted by positive male influences. So that's great. I know I caught you off guard. I know I threw you.
No, it's cool, man.
Threw you for a loop, but
like
that's
those
just
kind of
what I
questions.
like to do, man.
That's real.
I'm, you know, I do want you to tell everybody how they can get in touch with you, where they can find you, all of that good stuff.
Oh yeah, man. So the easiest way is Instagram. Follow me at IG. It's JO underscore the hitmaker, THEHITMAKER. You know, if somebody's interested in a project or me consulting for the record or producing or mixing or mastering or recording time, just DM me. You know, I don't necessarily have a set price list because everything is kind of depending on what's needed, what's done. You know, I can say I put my whole heart into everything I do, and you know, this is just organic and passionate for me. It's not about the money, but it's about the money, but it's not about the money. But it's not about the money.
That's what's up. So again, really appreciate you taking the time out today to sit down and talk to me. You know, let me do this. But they say that when people are good at what they do, it becomes effortless. So you're supposed to be real good at what you do. I need you to either give me something or make me something as an intro to this show for when we go ahead and air it.
All right.
What you got for me?
Well, like I would love to cook up, but obviously y'all see what I got. I mean, and that's no excuse. I could cook up, it just looked boring because it would be all clicks and it wouldn't be no playing. I also played. So just to make this easier, I had something that I already had I didn't even work it for this show. I'll just let y'all hear what I had going on. I don't know if y'all can hear this, but you'll hear it on the show, I guess, but I'll just let you hear it. So like I started out with this melody. You know, and I kind of fucked it up a little bit, like put a little more EQ on there, like kind of take some of the high ends out, let y'all kind of give it a little darker feel, put a little reverb on there too for y'all. I mix master all this shit like really just whatever, like effortlessly, man. Give that shit a little bit of oh shit, I'm putting that shit on the wrong motherfucking channel. Let's see. I'll kind of get that EQ going a little better. Y'all probably can hear it now. Yup. Put a little reverb on there. Alright. Then like I had like these hats, man. I like a little reverb on my snare too, but you can't really. Let me see what. Boom. Just a little bit. I'm not gonna send all that reverb, but I'll send a little bit. Just a little snap. Then like. It's a little something. Like when I was making this beat, I heard a siren in the background, and I was like actually like a real ambulance siren. And I said, oh, that shit like kind of went. So then I just threw that shit on there. It was nothing too crazy, but basic. And then I always like try to throw like another melody on top. Just some extra shit. And then of course my tag, my daughter, who's like also my best friend, her name is Gigi, and she created my tag. Really, she told me that she's the reason I came up with this name, because she's like, she said, Dad, you really have the trap jumping. And I was like, oh shit, that's my tag. So and all my beats got like, that's my daughter's voice and everything in there. So
that's what's up. Well, definitely appreciate that. We definitely gonna have this as the intro to this show.
Hell yeah.
Again, I definitely appreciate you. You guys gotta check it out. Before you know it, he gonna have me in the studio dropping a track or something like that. You know, I don't know how to rap or nothing like that, but I can talk a lot. So I appreciate you, Johnny.
Appreciate you, bro. For sure.
Again, it's the Money Experience.
Money Experience.
Check us out on YouTube. I appreciate y'all. Till the next time, we out.